What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We're not waiting for anything. What's good, peoples? What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy Omen. What's your boy doing? Chillin. Sitting here. My little basement room. Chillaxing. Came back from the store earlier. I got some ingredients to make a delicious lasagna for me and my sons. I'm about to have some lasagna, like I said. But it's a special lasagna. Beef, hot Italian sausage, spinach. I especially made ricotta cheese with Parmesan, Asiago, provolone, mozzarella, whole milk mozzarella. Okay, I want you to understand, it's whole milk mozzarella, not that skim shit. I want all the milk, so that's why I go with the whole milk, not the hard half 2%. Whole milk. Damn it. Make me repeat myself. I don't want to have to do that. Anyway, right? So, what's been happening with my peoples? How y'all been? Me? I've been doing well. Thank you for asking. Life is interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. Like, there's been so many changes, and so few changes, all at the same time, right? Like, the world around me, since I made the initial change, I'd say about a year ago, right? And I've been successful at doing so. I've been successful at keeping myself on track, right? Like, maybe little obstacles trying to fucking get in the way of shit. And I be looking at them like, really? You gonna try to do this? Really? Why? Why are you doing this? And they'll be looking at me like, because it's what I'm here for. I'm an obstacle. What am I supposed to do? Like, make things easy for you? No. I'm here to make things difficult. You'll remember this journey. You'll remember it. You'll remember all the obstacles that you had to overcome. And you'll be that much more thankful for the things that you have and not be so fucking caught up in the things that you don't. And the things that you do have, you'll be thankful and grateful and feel accomplished because they'll be yours. Nobody can take that from you. I think to myself, brain, shut up. You don't make any sense. But it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. I'm telling you. It really does. This is not a day that I wake up that I am not thankful for 3 things right off the bat. 1 is for waking up in the first place. Drawing breath. Being alive. 2nd one is being healthy. Because for the most part, I'm healthy. So that's good. The 3rd thing is being free. So many of us that aren't free. For whatever reason. So I'm always happy to be alive, healthy, and free. As soon as I wake up. And that puts me in a good mood. Because those 3 things are true. You know, I could put a stick and beat it. It's physically there. Those 3 things exist. I have those 3 things going for me. Right there. That's like, you know, you start a video game off, right? And you have so much HP, right? The base shit, which is like, well, let's just use 100 for a number, right? You have 100. Because you wake up and you're not thankful for anything. It's just like, whatever, I'm awake. And now you start to chip away at this HP as soon as you start to bitching and moaning and complaining about the things that you know that you're going to have to deal with every single day when you wake up in the fucking first place, right? You're complaining about work or your fucking wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or trans friend, or whatever type of friend you may have or not have at the time that you're upset about. These things start to chip away at your HP. It's like, oh god, shit, I didn't get that fucking promotion last week. Minus 5 points. Ah, fucking wife's getting on my fucking nerves. Minus 10 points. Oh, shit. Fucking bills. Gotta pay these fucking bills. Minus 20 points. You see what happened there? You see what happened there? You woke up with 100 points, and immediately upon complaining about bullshit, you have subtracted about half of your HP already. And you're gonna have to deal with some shit during the day. You're gonna have to go to work. You go to work, and something happens at work that pisses you off. Minus another 20 points, right? You're at 70 points subtracted from your fucking total of 100 points. Not much points left. You got 30 points. You still got the rest of the day. You still got the rest of the day to deal with, right? You still have the rest of the day with 30 points. Driving home from work, somebody cuts you off. You swerve. The cop pulls you over because they don't see the other guy. They just see you swerving. Are you drunk? You're not drunk. You know you're not drunk. You want to get drunk because you're mad about the stress. Try to work. The bills you have to pay, your wife's nagging you, or whatever else shit chipped away at your HP in the fucking morning and sent you to work with about half a tank worth. You just deal with some bullshit at work, separate you down 30 that you have now. The cop pulled you over. That's minus 40 points. Minus 40. You only have 30. You only have 30. But now you're at negative 10. You see what I'm saying? You haven't even gotten home yet. You haven't even gotten home. And you're already at negative 10. Raw nerves. Raw nerves. They're just out there, exposed. Like, help us. Help us. Right? That's what's happening right now. You walk in the door, fine, you're mad, don't even get a ticket, but it doesn't matter. It's fucked up your whole fucking day. Well, a little bit of vibe you did have, or was trying to resurrect on your way home by listening to music, which gave you a quick plus 5 points, but quickly subtracted it when the lights flashed. I was minus 5 right there, the lights flashing in your rear view, and then it was 40 points for the stop in itself. You know what I'm saying? Even though you didn't get a ticket or anything, I was just like, hey, watch what you're doing. It just fucks your whole shit up. So now you get home, right? Minus 10. Minus 10. You walk through the door. Bow! Immediately hit with some bullshit. Some bullshit. It doesn't matter what it is. It's bullshit, okay? At this point, because it's minus 10 energy level that you have. HP negative 10 is where it's at. So you now are just like, something happens. I don't know what. Depends on the type of person you are. But you've reached negative 50, which is the critical meltdown point of brain thinking for most people. The critical meltdown point. It's minus negative 50. It's going to take a lot to get you back up just to regular 0. You're not getting back up to 100. You're already getting fucked with right now. You're at minus 10. Dropping fast. Now, take how I deal with my day. I wake up with my 100. Bam! I add a quick 300 to my HP in gratefulness and appreciation armor off the rip. Bow. I throw that on. What does that give me, folks? 400 HP. I'm stepping out there like a boss. 400 HP. That's nothing to sniff or sniffle at. But wait. Right after I'm done with that, I begin to list the things that I am thankful for. Now that's 25 HP per thing that you're grateful for and thankful for. Thankful for that I have shelter. Bow! 25 points. I'm thankful that I have been able to maintain my life of clean and sober living. Bam! 25 more points. I am glad that I have finally gotten my brain to a point where I can control it. I'll never be healed from this disorder, but I will now understand it in a way, and thank God I do. Bam! 25 more points. That's 75 points right there, folks. I'm at 475 HP. 475 HP. Now, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, well, how high can I get the HP? shit, I start looking for shit to be thankful for. Looking for it. I'm thankful for the opportunities that you've given me in life. Bow. I'm thankful for the job. Bow. I'm thankful for the new place I'll be moving. Bow. I'm thankful for the food that I ate yesterday. Bow. I'm thankful for the fact that I can make hot sauce. Bam. I'm piling on these bonuses to my HP. Where are we at now? Like 525? Boom. I'm chilling. Right? Now, since I'm thankful for work and thankful for the shelter that I do have and thankful for the people who do or don't do for me, I don't have any attitude when I step foot outside of these walls. I step outside already knowing that I'm thankful for these things, so why would I complain about them? There's no point. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, folks. Don't get me wrong. The only difference is where some average person may start their day with 100 HP, I'm at 525. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to take an onslaught of shit to tear down that outer core and drop me to that negative 50. Now, that's not to say that it can't happen, right? But in my mind, I keep thinking, how many more extra bonuses can I pile on and stack on top of this 525? You feel what I'm saying? Right? I start thinking about my kids. Boom. That's like a fucking extra 200. Because then I realize that a lot of these changes that I'm making in my life are because I want to be a better father to all my children. Not trying to do any of this shit to please myself. I mean, I am pleased with myself, but it's not for me. It's for them because I owe them that. You know what I'm saying? They're my kids. They didn't ask to be here. It's not like they got my ear before they existed and was like, hey, my name is Jaden Mitchell. You're going to have sexual relations with my mother. Well, she's not my mother yet, but she will be when you do what I say do. And upon this consummation, I will come into existence. You will take care of me as I see fit for the rest of my life. No, that doesn't happen. You know, you do some shit with somebody and the child is made and they get here and then they have to deal with whatever the fucked up situation that they're born into is. Or not, if they're not born into a fucked up situation. But my point is they have no choice. You know, so the fucked up shit that they had to deal with when coming from me, yes. Can I take it back and change it? No. But can I make things better now? Yes. And not because I owe it to them for what I did wrong. Because I just owe it to them in general. They're my children. I can't make up the time that they lost because of the things that they went through. I can't. Like my mom told me one day, you have to forgive yourself if you're going to move forward. If you're always sitting there going on and on about the fucking shit you did, you're never going to do anything else better. I thought it was stupid. I thought, forgiving yourself was selfish. Like, oh yeah, I forgive me for being a fucking total piece of shit. I forgive me. You wouldn't believe how hard it actually is to forgive yourself. It is. I thought it was too easy. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all to forgive yourself, to honestly forgive yourself. Because immediately, you start thinking about all the fucking shit you did. And then you realize that forgiving yourself is not just words that people say, just to, kind of like tell you to shut the fuck up and stop feeling sorry for yourself. They actually do want you to forgive yourself. You're not going to do much in the way of healing if you don't forgive yourself. Because you fucked yourself too, You have to look at it that way. You fucked yourself too. Sometimes you're the only person that's fucked in the situation. It's yourself. And you fucked yourself. I know I fucked myself plenty of fucking times. It's like a habitual self-fucker. Walking around like, ha, fuck yourself. What the fuck? Why did you do that? Because it's what you do. You do things are going well, and then you say, hey, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck yourself. And I decided I was going to stop fucking myself because I didn't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. Risks that I take now are more calculated. I know it seems to many that they aren't, but they are. You know, one thing that I can't change is how I come across to people. And honestly, I don't fucking care how I come across to people unless those people are important to me. And the only people right now that are truly, truly important to me enough that I care how they feel if the way that I come off or been portrayed offends them is my children. Everybody else kick fucking rocks. You know what I'm saying? No offense, but that's how I feel. You know, you should feel the same way about your kids or whoever you hold dear like that. You know, that you feel you should change your life and change anything that you can. But at the beginning of it, you have to change for yourself. Because if you're just a piece of shit who doesn't give a fuck about kids and shit like that, then, you know, you're not going to change for them. And you can't change for other people anyway. It just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. I tried it a couple of times. Several times. Tried for spouses and, you know, family. Kids. Nope. Didn't work. And I said, I'm gonna change my behavior because I'm tired of my own behavior. Like, I'm just tired of it. Looking at myself in the mirror one day, I was just like, I don't like you at all. Like, I really don't. You know, I just don't like you. We need to change that because I can't get away from you. I can't leave you. You know, one way to do that would be to blow my brains out. I'm not trying to do that because that's not how I feel. But I do feel that the two of us here, me and you, you know, bizarro me, we're not. This relationship is over. It has to end, and that's what happened. I just said, fuck this. I'm tired of doing things in a way that's just not working for me. Like, that's stupid. There's no logic in it. You know, I'm always one that's talking to people about, show me the logic of something, and I'll consider your argument. But if you can't show me any logic, then I don't want to hear it. And here I am doing some illogical, dumbass shit that is not going to work. But in my brain, somehow, I figured I could make it work because I'm that motherfucking guy, right? Like, I'm just that motherfucker. No, I'm not that motherfucker. It didn't work that way. But it's working this way. You know, I started troubleshooting my life, right? Looking at the beginning of a situation and then letting it play through. And then looking at the end of the situation. And what were the results, right? What were the results? Then I'll go back over that time period and look at things that I feel may have had something to do with that end result. And if there was a negative end result, I would obviously start to troubleshoot the most obvious negative behavior. Did this behavior lead to this result? And if chances were it did, which most times it did, then I would understand that you don't do that, obviously, because it's a negative result, period, no matter what it is. And you rule all those out. You keep the good shit, right? You do away with the dumb shit. But you can only do this if you're clear in your head. You're not fucking doing substances, which will just make you think about doing substances, because that's your entire focus all the time. Substances. I need these substances. I must have these substances. Without these substances, I don't feel like I can function. So I need the substances. And then you're functioning to get substances, and your substances become the function. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? No? The function, right? You'll do a function to get these substances. But then the substances themselves become the function. Because that's all you're doing. Is doing things to do these things. Everything revolves around it now. You know? Whether it be covering it up or making sure that, well, if you're a functioning addict, I guess that's what you call a functioning addict, you make sure that the bills are paid, because if they're not paid, then that draws attention to why they're not being paid. right? Now, you're not happy about this, obviously. You're an addict. You want more money for your drug habit or alcohol or whatever substance it is that you're abusing. But you already know, the light being shed on your situation is not one for which you are ready to be dealing with. Therefore, you do what's necessary to keep the dark areas dark. And that means paying your fucking bills on time. So, if that's what a functioning addict is, then okay, fine. Whatever. But to me, there is no such thing as a functioning addict. The fact of the matter is, you're an addict. You're an addict. And the sooner you accept that fact, the better off you feel about why you don't want to be an addict. You understand that that means that you have no control. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like not being in control of me. It controls you. And the more you look at it once you're no longer in it, it's like walking out of a burning building that's on the verge of collapse. At which point there is no escaping whatever the consequences may be. And looking at that and realizing, oh my God, what the fuck was I doing? Now, of course, no addict ever goes into thinking those things are going to happen to them. No. Nobody drinks alcohol and is like, I'm going to become an alcoholic. Smack my wife or smack my boyfriend or smack my kids or just be a belligerent piece of shit every time I go out someplace. Friends will hate me. They won't want me around. Nobody thinks like that. Some people think they're the life of the party when they're drunk. And a lot of times they're a ball in the corner crying, sniffling, depressed because, alcohol is depressant. And then, couple that with mental conditions that most people have, which is why they seek the properties in which alcohol and other substances bring upon the human body, because they're trying to medicate from other things that they're dealing with in their head or in their life, whatever they may be. Some people just like to get fucked up, or it can start that way and then it ends up something else. Needless to say, the fact of the matter is, addiction is nothing that anyone goes into planning to do so. Nobody goes in there and says, yes, I'm going to sell my ass for drugs. For a fleeting high, I'll be willing to do just anything. Steal, lie, cheat, kill. Fuck. I don't care. Because I want to get drugs. I need these drugs. Or this alcohol. Or this new handbag. Or this new computer game. Whatever your addiction may be. Oftentimes when people think of addiction, they think of things like drugs. Immediately is the first thing that comes to the minds of most people is drugs. Probably heroin and then crack and then cocaine, most likely in that order, or meth and heroin and then crack and then cocaine. I guess it depends on where in the United States you live, what drug is the first drug of choice. But those are the top four. I'm almost certain of it. If we want to go 5 in, we can say pills of any type. Because people just pop things nowadays because they can't deal with reality. Reality is somewhat harsh for many people. Many people. But the thing is, it can be conquered. I'm living proof of this. Those of you who have followed me for basically since I've come out on Instagram or YouTube can see the difference. There are many similarities. I'm always going to be me. I'm a wild, spontaneously crazy type of person. It's just who I am. What I am not is on alcohol or substances. Therefore, what you see is real. There's no fake shit here. Nor do I have any reservations on the things that I have done in my life. It's not like anybody's gonna bring it up and be like, "Oh, you smoked crack back in the day." Like, yeah, and so what? I did. Keyword being did. Don't do. Don't want to. Don't feel the need. Life in itself, when you embrace it for what it truly is all the high you really need. The ability to learn, to me, is one of the most exhilarating things that man has that some animals don't. Is we can learn new things. It's not everything is not based on instinct. So if you don't know something and you have interest in it, you can learn it. You can learn anything that you want if you want. And knowing these things, and it's not like I just realized this, but what I did realize is the power of the mind. You know, when I was losing it, I realized just how strong your mind is when it's damaged. How it can make you believe things that aren't necessarily true in the reality that most people are living in. It's real to you. Your way of thinking seems to make sense. The things around you don't seem to be as dire as they truly are, because you have this veil of illusion. And that's the power of the mind. Now imagine if you take that same power and you put it to good use. Do you get what I'm saying? Mouth is kind of dry. But to good use. To good use. You can accomplish pretty much anything you want if you want to. The only reason you can't is because you don't. You get what I'm saying? If you do, then you can. You may have to do it a couple of times to actually get it just right. But you can. You can. There's someone at my door. I don't know why they don't just walk in instead of standing at the door. Why are you standing at the door? Just walk in the room. You're already there. Like, I care if you come in here. Close the door. Now that you're in, close it. It's my son, Miles. My youngest. My youngest.
You said that.
There's a lot of things I could say about him, but I'm not going to go into that here. You know, except for that, he's mine. I helped in the creation project that took place 12 years ago, which got together with some scientists in a lab. We said we must make an almost perfect human being.
Yeah, not even real.
And we'll need some of your DNA arrays. You're just crazy. We need crazy, but we're going to try to tame this crazy. See what we can do with it. I said yes. Just like that. That's all I said was yes. And so they, decided to craft me a son. I had already had two others at this point, but I needed another. Just because why
everybody
not?
else is crafted too?
No. They were naturally born. That's why I always told you were an alien. You didn't believe me. You are, because some of the people who helped create you in the lab were aliens. Now, during the time, getting back to what I was saying before he came in, during the time period in which the craziness was happening, and I wasn't understanding that reality was a totally different thing from what it was supposed to be, there was one voice of reason. And that reminded me that not only was I not all the things that I thought that I was, but I was a father. You know, sometimes that completely and totally slipped my fucking mind. You know, I was out ghost hunting and fucking hanging out in graveyards and cemeteries at night, walking the streets of Manchester, feeding homeless people and giving them water on hot summer days, talking hot sauce, walking art galleries and talking with people that I have absolutely no idea who they are. And just having hour-long conversation with them about anything, everything, and nothing, all at once. It was fucking ridiculous, right? You know, I'd be doing these things. And I had fun doing it. And I realized then that life in itself was fun. It was entertaining and fun. But I was still caught up in the dumb shit. So it was one of those things that you kind of like file away in the back of your brain as something you'll use later.
Brains have nails.
And that's kind of like what happened. Yeah. The voice of reason, though. The voice of reason. Call me and shit. Be like, Dad, hey, how you doing? Hey, Miles, what's going on? And it's like, no matter how far off I had gone, he always had a way of like reeling me back into reality. At least long enough for me to remember that, you know, there's a plane and I wasn't on it, and they somehow figure out a way to get back to it. And he was kind of like a lifeline, I guess, sort of. You know what I'm saying? Like a constant reminder of what life was, which kind of made it a little bit easier to deal with when the whole thing came crashing down around me. Is that I knew I had him, you know, my children, and that made me want to change for me, because I wasn't happy about the type of person that I was, especially to them, because they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a fucking choice. No choice at all. And I was being extremely selfish. Selfish as fuck. You know? Like, if I got problems, and obviously they have problems, but it's time for me to put my problems in the back burner and deal with theirs, because you know what? They didn't ask for this shit. And you're not being fair to them. They've got it bad enough as it is. The nonsense that they have to deal with. They can't have it coming from both of you at the same time. One of you's got to be stable. One of you has to be. It's a long road. And it's still miles and miles and miles and miles away from where I want it to be. But the fact of the matter is I'm making forward progress now. Forward progress. You know, I'm not just walking in place or going through the motions. I'm actually like gaining ground, which is a wonderful feeling. Once again, it feels good. It feels better than any high I've ever had to achieve, to accomplish, and to do so with people hating me. It's like rocket fuel for me now. The more people hate, the more I move forward. And it's not to prove a point to them, because quite frankly, I could give two fucking shits less what the fuck they think. No matter what I do, they're always going to feel exactly the same way. But what does matter is how I'm watching my children change. You know what I'm saying? Because they're seeing their father is dead fucking serious about what he says. You know, it's one thing for someone to tell you they're going to do this and they don't do it. And you just get used to them disappointing you all the time. That's never been the case with me as far as my children go. They've never said anything about me being a disappointment as far as me not being or doing what I say I'm going to do. You know, as far as I know. And if I'm wrong, well, then they can correct me. And I'll admit it if I'm wrong. But none of them have said this to me. And me and my kids, we have open communication. You understand what I'm saying? They have a right to communicate to me anything that they feel they need to. But they have to understand. Just because I know that you don't like something doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to change. But I'm aware, and you know I'm aware. So see, that makes it a lot easier for a child to understand their parent and their place. in my opinion, if there's open communication. You know, you have to let them say what they feel, or they won't say anything at all, and then you won't know. At least I know. You know, that much I can say. I know where their heads are at. I know what they're thinking. Because I talk to them. Like people. You know, not like fucking kids. Like people. Say what you have to say. Say it how you feel you have to say it. And if that means a few choice swear words, I don't care. It's fucking words. Who fucking gives a shit? Like, I don't expect my kids not to have mouths. Now, my youngest one, of course, he's like Mr. Clean when it comes to talking. He very rarely, if at all, ever says a bad word, which is funny as fuck, because when he was younger, I couldn't get him to stop swearing. You know, he's like 2 and 3 and 4, fucking swearing like he was Sam Kinison and shit. Fuck this and shit. Just swear, you know. And fuck you, I hate you, you know. Just mean little kid. Huggable and cute as fucking shit. Fat little cheeks, just a little pudgy gut. They call him Fat Tony, you know, because that's what he looked like to me. You know, little Fat Tony. A little wife beater. They finally had him for little kids and shit. It was hilarious. Put him in a little tracksuit and shit. It'd be all tight around his neck. And he had a little short neck, like my dad, right? It's like a head on top of shoulders. It's like, where's the neck at? Do they have a neck? Yeah, they have a neck. It's just very short neck. And a little short, stout people, my dad and my youngest son. It looks just like my dad, in my opinion. You know, then there's my 16-year-old, soon to be 16-year-old Jaden. He's a character. But I love him to death. I love all my kids. Even my oldest son, Zaya, you know, knucklehead that he is. But I love him. You know, me and him don't always agree on a lot of things. Most of the time, probably. We say things to each other that we probably shouldn't say to each other. I'll threaten to kick his ass and shit, which I shouldn't do that. But he makes me so mad sometimes. And it's not him that makes me mad. It's just like I want better for him than I think he wants for himself. And I should stop assuming that I know what he wants for himself. You know, that might help our lines of communication not be so fucking frayed. And then we, you know, jump off and get mad at each other and shit, you know. I told him the other day, I texted him, because, you know, we haven't been talking for a while. So I told him, you know, I love you, man. You know, just can't talk to you right now because we just aren't going to agree on shit. I don't want to be yelling at you and shit, so love you. And that's just what it is. Because I do love him. I love him no less than the rest of my children. I love all of my children equally. I know people are, that's impossible. It's not impossible. It's very possible. I don't have a favorite child. None of them are my favorite. I love them all. Simple as that. There's not one that I would prefer to spend more time with at all. Simple as that. There's not one I feel more compelled to talk to or feel that I can talk to over the others. Nope. I love them all equally. I favor none. I favor all. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how it is when it comes to my kids. And that's how it's always going to be. No matter what they do in life, you know. I may be disappointed, be upset. I'll get over it. My thing is, are they okay? And that's how I feel now. And I've always felt that way in my core. But I didn't act that way. You know what I'm saying? You can feel and say, but what you do is what speaks the volumes that they will write about when things are said and done. You know what I'm saying? Not what you think, or what you did. You might think that you're the fucking best person in the goddamn world, and everybody else doesn't feel that way. You know, you don't know how you're affecting other people. Or you do and you don't care. Or you do and you do care, but you can't change. You know, there's a number of circumstances, things that happen to keep you doing the things that you feel are necessary in order to have a more productive relationship with those people around you. And sometimes dealing with people is not necessarily the best thing. Sometimes not dealing with people is much better. But I will say, one of the things that I've learned along the way, at least about myself, is I'm a very giving, outgoing, wonderful person as far as I know. You know what I'm saying? Most people will say such. And I'm not just saying this to be trying to talk myself up. People have said this of me. So I'm just now listening to what they're saying. Because back when they were saying it when I was all fucked up and shit, obviously I felt like a fraud. oh, they're saying how nice I am. Meanwhile, I'm over here doing things I shouldn't be doing, drugs and stuff like that. But then you gotta think, just because you do drugs doesn't make you a bad person. It's just you're doing some bad shit that you shouldn't be doing. It doesn't make you a bad person, but a lot of people will think that, and they'll go into this whole cycle of shame. You know what I'm saying? They'll be ashamed. So then they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. They try to bury the problem or hide it from people. Where people who have problems with addiction need to talk about it. That's a fucking lonely road. And it's even lonelier when you're hanging out with a bunch of people doing the same shit. You may think, oh, I'm hanging out with other addicts. That can't be bad, right? Wrong. 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 You don't want to be around a bunch of people who are doing the same shit that you're doing. Number one, you're going to have to share. And why would you want to do that? It's less for you, less high. No addict thinks that way. Yeah, they may go together in groups because maybe they want to all chip in because they're too busy getting high, so they don't have the money to buy it themselves. But that never works out. How does that work? Someone's getting the short end of the stick. 2 or 3 people are not spitting a bag of anything. This is just not going to happen. So you're just as lonely there as you would just be doing it by yourself. It's not a good thing to do, people. Like, it really isn't. Any addiction is just bad. And I know I'm not saying anything that people don't know, but I'm just going to keep saying it because having, traveled that path, it's like, I'm free. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Free. My mind is free. My body is free. I am free of those chains. And I don't know about anybody else, but if you were being chained and held down by anything and that chain was now released from you and you were able to go on about your day, why would you ever go back? Why? And I understand some people are just, I guess it's hard, but I don't want to go back. I'm not saying there weren't hiccups along the way. I mean, it's always a chain around your neck. And there were times when I broke that chain, but somehow slipped back into it. So yes, I understand the perils of recovery. But there has to come a time when one says to themselves, I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough. I've had fucking enough. You can change. You can. It's as easy as wanting to. And then as simple as putting that into play. What needs to be done in order to make it happen? You have to take inventory, of course. You have to start looking at the people you associate with, the places you go, where you live. All that comes into play. If you are truly serious about making a change, a lot of things have to change. A lot of things. Or it's not going to work. You can't build a fucking house on sand unless, of course, you pour some type of resin into that sand to solidify that sand. Then you can build a foundation on sand. But if you're not doing that, well, then you're not building a foundation on sand that's going to stand for very long because it's going to shift, fall, crumble, and then be a mess that you're going to have to fix. Nobody wants to go through that. Yes, so away from that topic, I think I've rambled on for probably almost an hour here. How long has it been? Does anybody know? I can't see. 43 minutes and 24 seconds to be exact. Yeah, I got a lot to say. It's been a while since I've just talked about just stuff, This is what's going on. What's happening in my head? What's happening in my life? If anybody's interested in knowing, I'll share it with you. But, first, some music. Because, this has been extremely quiet this entire time. And, quiet is something that I don't want to have happening right now. So here we go. This is called Calm by, me, obviously, because I make music and stuff like that. But, so what has been going on as of present? Well, obviously, I'm working. I work for a dairy company. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all you need to know. Okay? Anyway, things are going decently. Can't complain. The hours are good. Pay is decent. You know, it's allowing me to take care of my obligations and responsibilities without need to feel that I can't. Right? Just enough to do what needs to be done. So that's good, right? I'll be moving within a couple of months, end of September, I think. If everything goes the way that I'm hoping it goes, then I'll be able to get the place, and that'll be good. Growing some peppers, you know. Got one plant that's doing phenomenally well. I'm surprised, but it's doing really good. The leaves are nice and big. It's just looking so lush. Then, you know, Pepper Princess, I want to say thank you very much. Pepper Princess 509, for those of you who are not familiar with her, well, you should be familiar with her. Go over there and check her out on YouTube at Pepper Princess 509. Also, you can find her on Instagram at the same name, Pepper Princess 509. Reviewed a couple of my hot sauces, Roasted Paradise and Chaos Reserve, and she loved them. So I want to thank her for her truthful, honest, and wonderful review of my hot sauces. It was greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. From that, got a customer. Wants a custom hot sauce every month. I'm not going to say anything too much about it because me and this person are still fleshing out the details of the recipe for which I will craft this sauce, because it's using special peppers I've never used before, peppers only certain people have. So this sauce is going to be an exclusive sauce, very exclusive, with a flavor unlike anything you've ever tasted in your lives. And I know what you're saying. You would say that. Of course I would fucking say that. Why wouldn't I say that? I'd be foolish not to say that it's going to be the most fucking flavorfully interesting hot sauce known to man at the moment that it's tasted. And right after that, some other hot sauce will come along that'll taste just as good, if not better. But until that time period comes, it will reign as the champion supreme. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm pretty happy about. Now, another thing, it's in the works for a, I'm gonna say 2025 release, somewhere in the neighborhood of summertime. Be on the lookout. For 1 to 3 clothing brands. Now, I'm not working on all of them. No. I'm working on 1.5, I should say. Now, of course, I'm working on all of them in some shape, form, or fashion, whether through marketing, promotion, or advertising. There's one that is going to be designed by me, and that's NOWC. What did you think it was going to be? That's right, No Order Without Chaos is going to be smacked on some gear coming this summer. Now, it could be sooner. But I'm not sure yet. I'm still working out some details on the business end of it to see which way to go is more cost effective and viable, right? I want to make sure what I advertise is available for people to have. Besides, I have a promotional marketing campaign idea that I want to run first to draw attention to the brand. So keep your eyes peeled for NOWC clothing. Also, in the works, as far as clothing goes, I'm trying to get my guy to get down with it. I want to bring back No Pants Ninja. What? I said No Pants Ninja. That's right, No Pants Ninja. Making a comeback. If I have anything to do. And also another new brand coming straight out of the USA, right here in PA. God's Fruit. That's what you heard. God's Fruit. We're talking high fashion. Now, will this be high fashion by motherfucking summer? I don't know. But they will have clothing available by summer, if not sooner. So that's something that has been in the pipeline that I've been diligently working on, and I've been quiet about it, but I've been working on it for probably about the past 2 or 3 months, steadily. Any project that I have, I work on it steadily, and right now my focus is on 3 projects, and that's it. You know, the artwork I do is not for business purposes, it's just for fun, so that's a hobby, so I don't consider that a work thing, you know. But the hot sauce, the peppers, and the shirts or clothing, those are, you know, potential businesses. Therefore, they require a lot more attention. Therefore, I only have 3 that I'm working on. One of them is passive, so that's fine. The other one is as ordered, so that's fine. The other one, clothing, it's taking a little bit more. You know what it really is. I'm just gonna come out and fucking say it, right? I'm not gonna beat around the bush, because why the fuck bother beating around the fucking bush? There's just some people that's not on my level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not willing to move how I move. They want to dip their toe in and shit. Like, that's gonna change the temperature of the water. The water's hot, alright? Either get in or get the fuck out the way. Alright? The water's hot. It's what it is. Assume the worst. Prepare for the worst. And when the best things happen, you're more than prepared for them. You get what I'm saying? That's how I think. Now, I know for a lot of people who don't know me that well, you get what I'm saying? You see this guy talking to you and it sounds like a whole bunch of crazy ass shit that he's just spitting with no thought behind it. No, I've been working at this for over 3 years now. It's just my previous attempts were very misguided and foolish and did not have much forethought put into them before enacting plans with no real resolve. No, that's not the same person here now that is working on these things. Here is someone who is actually plotting, planning, scheming, and making sure that the things that are put into place make sense and are sustainable at the same time, and can be done within a time frame with the time constraints already in place, which is with me working a full-time job, right? Over 50 hours a week sometimes. So, right, if I'm able to make progress with the time I have to a level that allows me to take time away from other things that I'm doing to then make more, well, you understand where I'm going with this, don't you? You should, right? If you have a brain. So, people who aren't willing to move like I move, I don't have time for that shit. Now, see, the old me would have tried to carry these people. I ain't carrying nobody at all, except my kids. So I feel sorry for anybody that thinks otherwise. Because you're fucking delusional. And that's why I'm saying this now, so that people can understand what my mind frame is, right? I'm all about helping community. I'm all about small business. I'm all about all those things. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? The type of dude keep the shirt off his back, right? Those things have not changed. But what has changed is just who are those people, right? Not just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not just anybody. I'm being a lot more selective about the types of people that I deal with. I throw out a net, right? See, back in the day, I would just grab anything and pull it towards me. Now I throw a net out, right? And then I pull this net in, and I see what's in this net. I swim around in the net with the things that I've caught within this net, right? And I fill them out. Understand where each thing's brain is coming from. But I do so without any kind of hidden agenda. My fucking aim is straightly announced from Jump Street. This is what I hope to achieve from this particular relationship. Therefore, there is no confusion as to what I want. Right? Right. I figure the more straight up you are, the better things go in the long run. There's not that I thought, no, you didn't think anything. You knew, you know, because it's been stated clearly. Now, there's people that would say scared money don't make money. And that's not true. Scared money does make money. It just doesn't make a lot of money. Now, my whole thing is, how much money am I trying to make? I don't have a set amount. Any money made, as long as it's covering the cost of whatever it is that the business is money that I didn't have before. And I still get to do something that I like doing, right? And it's not taking anything else out of my day that I wasn't already willing to give to it in the first place. That's how much money I want to make. And you know why? Because if it's attainable, it's increasable, right? Of course it is. Of course it is. Anything can be done if you really want to do it. It's just about how much you're willing to sacrifice or to put into whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever it is. And I know what I'm willing to do. And I know what I'm going to do. And I'll keep you guys updated as, these things happen. Share them with you. Because there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some changes, There's going to be some changes. God damn it, I just said that there's going to be changes. And now you're asking me what changes are there going to be. Well, okay, I'll share them with you. Some of them, which I already did share, which is the hot sauce and the peppers and the shirts and the clothing. Those are the changes. The most relevant besides me moving. So basically I've already shared everything with you. So I don't know why you're sitting there looking at me like I owe you any more explanations on anything else, which I don't, because I already given them. Right? Of course. Now, I've rambled on long enough. I think it's time for me to do some of the things that I plan on doing, which is making this lasagna delicious as it's going to be, making some music, playing my game, looking up some stuff, potentially starting a shop online, and working on some art collaborations. So, until next time, folks, I want you all to take care of yourselves. And if you are an addict, and you just so happen to be watching at this particular moment in time, and you don't want to be an addict anymore, well then change that. Because only you can. You just have to be really sick and tired of it. Really sick and tired. Like, really sick and tired. Like, no excuses anymore. Sick and fucking tired. And not because somebody else told you should be sick and tired, because you yourself are sick and fucking tired. And when you're sick and tired of it, you will change it. Don't listen to what everybody else says, okay? You have to walk down that path. You have to go down that road. That's your road. Stop fucking bullshitting and fucking make your way. Better things await you. they're going to be hard dealing with. I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy at first. But the more you realize that you were able to accomplish something that most people said you wouldn't, and you probably yourself thought that you couldn't, and you see that you only can't if you don't, well, then you'll be more interested in what you can do after you've done that. Think about